If you're navigating those incredible years beyond 60, lean in because what you're about to discover could genuinely be a life-changer. Perhaps the most critical health insight you'll encounter. Every single decision you make, from the vibrant foods that grace your plate at mealtime, to the precious hours you dedicate to restorative sleep, and even the gentle, rhythmic way you move your body throughout the day. Each of these choices directly orchestrates the very symphony of your heart's well-being. But here's a thought designed to make you pause and really consider. What if there's a single, seemingly innocent daily habit, one you barely even register, that is silently, insidiously chipping away at your heart's strength day after relentless day? She hanged a truly heart-wrenching pattern far too many times in clinical practice. Vibrant seniors, individuals who still feel full of life and energy, walking into the clinic appearing perfectly normal, only to leave with a life-altering diagnosis. They might be told they have dangerously high blood pressure, arteries so clogged they resemble blocked pipes, or even worse, find themselves teetering precariously on the very brink of a devastating heart attack. The truly alarming part, most of these wonderful people don't even realize they're engaging in something so detrimental. This isn't solely about shunning the obvious culprits like greasy junk food or forcing yourself through grueling workouts. Often it's about one deceptively simple thing, a habit repeated almost on autopilot without a flicker of conscious thought that is slowly but surely nudging their precious, hard-working heart towards a state of failure. In the chapters that follow, Shi Heng Yi isn't just making a suggestion, it's an earnest plea to seniors everywhere. Identify and decisively halt this one critical habit. And that's just the beginning. We will also pull back the curtain on the 10 most hazardous habits that are at this very moment putting your heart in a serious jeopardy. Each one stealthily ratcheting up your risk of heart failure, a debilitating stroke, or even sudden unexpected death. But here's the genuinely empowering news. Every single one of these lurking threats is fixable. You simply need the clarity of knowing what to stop doing, and just as importantly, what positive actions to replace it with. Shi Heng Yi urges you to stay engaged through every chapter, because habit number 1, which we'll explore in detail as our final point, is arguably the most critical and tragically the most widespread danger Shi Heng Yi encounters in patients almost every single day. Let's begin our exploration of heart-damaging habits with number 10, a surprisingly common yet profoundly dangerous oversight, the habit of skipping daily walks or neglecting regular physical exercise. If you've celebrated your 60th birthday and find that your days are largely characterized by inactivity with many hours spent seated, you are in essence unintentionally rolling out the welcome mat for a host of heart problems. One of the most significant and entirely preventable mistakes Shi Heng Yi observes is seniors dedicating the majority of their day to sedentary pursuits. This might involve being captivated by the flickering images on a television screen for hours on end, becoming deeply engrossed in the pages of a compelling book while remaining stationary, or simply staying in bed for prolonged periods beyond what's needed for rest. The thought, "I'm just too old for demanding workouts now," might frequently cross your mind, and that's a perfectly understandable sentiment. However, the call to action here isn't about training for a marathon or committing to intense high-impact gym sessions. The plea from Shi Heng Yi is far simpler, yet its impact on your heart health is immeasurably profound. Just walk. It might sound almost too straightforward to be true, but consider this. Incorporating a mere 30 minutes of daily walking, performed at a pace that feels comfortable and sustainable for you, can dramatically slash your risk of suffering a heart attack by an astonishing, almost unbelievable 50%. When your body remains still for extended periods, this prolonged inactivity creates an opportune environment for insidious fats to begin their silent, detrimental work of clogging up your arteries. Concurrently, your heart muscle, deprived of the gentle challenge of regular movement, can gradually weaken from disuse, and your blood pressure often starts an unhealthy upward climb. Over time, this chronic lack of physical activity can culminate in severe and life-altering conditions such as heart failure, a debilitating stroke, or even tragically premature death. Walking in stark contrast acts like a gentle, consistent tune-up for your entire cardiovascular system. It encourages your blood vessels to remain open, flexible, and responsive. It significantly improves the vital supply of oxygen, not just to your body, but specifically to your brain, enhancing cognitive function. Furthermore, regular walking is a powerful natural tool for lowering stress levels, which themselves can be detrimental to heart health. Beyond these benefits, walking is a formidable ally in the ongoing efforts to control weight, manage blood sugar effectively, and keep cholesterol levels within a healthy range, all of which are major potential adversaries to the long-term health and resilience of your heart. The inherent beauty of walking lies in its remarkable simplicity and universal accessibility. It is entirely free, requires no specialized or expensive equipment, and stands as one of the most potent, readily available forms of medicine for protecting and strengthening your heart. Even if a continuous 30-minute session feels daunting, breaking it down into smaller, more manageable segments, perhaps a brisk 15-minute walk in the morning and another 15 minutes in the evening, is more than enough to provide substantial protection for your heart and potentially extend your lifespan. Please, Shi Heng Yi implores you, don't wait until you experience chest pain or other alarming symptoms to start incorporating movement into your daily routine. Prevention begins right now with the very next step you choose to take. Your heart will genuinely thank you for every single step you dedicate to its well-being. Moving on to habit number 9, we confront a widespread issue that many seniors are unfortunately unaware of: eating too much salt. The danger of excessive sodium intake often flies under the radar, yet its impact on your heart can be profound and damaging over time. It's not just about the visible salt you might sprinkle onto your food from a shaker at the dinner table. A far greater threat often lies in the hidden salt lurking within a vast array of commonly consumed items. Think about canned soups, which can be loaded with sodium for flavor and preservation. Many types of bread and baked goods, savory sauces and dressings, tangy pickles, crispy chips, and other processed snacks, and a wide variety of prepackaged or frozen meals. When you consume too much sodium, your body responds by retaining excess water. This increase in fluid volume directly translates to a higher volume of blood circulating through your system, which in turn puts significant extra pressure on the walls of your arteries over an extended period. This relentless pressure leads to the development of high blood pressure, a condition that silently and insidiously damages not only your heart, but also your kidneys and brain. High blood pressure is often referred to as the silent killer for a very good reason. It typically presents with no obvious symptoms until substantial damage has already occurred, often when it's far too late for easy intervention. Shi Heng Yi has encountered numerous patients who have presented with advanced heart failure, and upon careful review of their lifestyle, their primary mistake was something as seemingly minor as a daily indulgence in salty snacks. It's crucial to understand that seniors, due to natural physiological changes that occur with aging, generally require far less salt in their diet compared to younger individuals. The recommended daily maximum for those over 60 is no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. That's actually less than a single teaspoon. To protect your heart, become a diligent label reader. Always check the sodium content on packaged foods. Make a conscious effort to avoid or significantly limit processed foods. And embrace the benefits of cooking meals at home where you have full control over the ingredients. Using flavorful alternatives like herbs, spices, lemon juice, or vinegar instead of salt. Even seemingly small changes can make a significant difference. For instance, switching from salted nuts to their unsalted counterparts, or choosing fresh or frozen vegetables over canned varieties, or rinsing canned vegetables thoroughly can substantially reduce your sodium intake and protect your heart. Remember, your taste buds are remarkably adaptable. After about 2 weeks of consciously reducing your salt intake, you'll likely find that your food tastes just as good, if not better, as your palate adjusts to appreciating the natural flavors. More importantly, your heart will function more efficiently and face less strain. Make the decision to cut back on salt before it has a chance to cut your life short. Our 8th dangerous habit concerns the very first meal of the day. Starting your day with greasy or highly processed breakfast. Breakfast is often touted as the most important meal intended to fuel your body and mind for the hours ahead. However, for many seniors, their morning meal choice can unfortunately resemble a heart attack waiting to happen on a plate. Consider common breakfast staples such as savory bacon and sausages, toast slathered generously with butter, sugary cereals that offer little nutritional value, eggs fried in oil or butter, and coffee laden with rich cream and sugar. While these items might undoubtedly tantalize your taste buds and offer momentary satisfaction, they could be inflicting far more harm on your heart than you realize. These types of breakfast foods are typically loaded with unhealthy saturated fats, harmful trans fats, and excessive amounts of sugar. Consuming them regularly can lead to a spike in your cholesterol levels, contribute to an increase in your blood pressure, and trigger inflammation within your delicate blood vessels. Shi Heng Yi has observed a concerning and rather scary pattern in clinical experience. A significant number of heart attacks tend to occur in the morning hours, often shortly after individuals have consumed these types of heavy processed breakfasts. You might wonder why this is the case. One physiological reason is that your blood naturally tends to be slightly thicker in the morning after a night's rest. Introducing a heavy fatty meal at this time places an additional burden on your heart, making it work considerably harder to pump this thicker blood through your system. If you are over the age of 60, your body's ability to handle this kind of daily metabolic stress is often diminished compared to when you were younger. Instead of setting yourself up for potential cardiac strain, Shi Heng Yi strongly encourages you to choose heart-safe breakfast options that nourish rather than harm. Think about a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with antioxidant-rich berries and perhaps some nuts for healthy fats and protein. Consider boiled or poached eggs, which provide excellent protein without added fats from frying. Whole grain toast paired with creamy avocado offers fiber and healthy monounsaturated fats. Even a simple fruit smoothie blended with some yogurt or a plant-based milk can provide a wealth of vitamins and minerals. These kinds of foods actively work to lower cholesterol, improve your digestive health, and provide sustained, long-lasting energy without placing an undue burden on your arteries. Your breakfast choices can either be a healing start to your day or a harmful one. Make the right choice the moment you wake up, and your heart will be significantly safer and healthier all day long. Let's address habit number 7, drinking alcohol regularly. You've likely heard the oft-repeated adage that a glass of red wine in moderation can be beneficial for your heart. However, for seniors, this well-intentioned advice can unfortunately be misleading and potentially even deadly. The way alcohol affects your body undergoes significant changes after the age of 60. Your liver, the primary organ responsible for metabolizing alcohol, generally processes it more slowly than it did in your younger years. This means alcohol and its byproducts can linger in your system longer, exerting their effects. Furthermore, alcohol consumption can cause your blood pressure to rise more rapidly and to a greater extent in older adults, and your risk of developing an irregular heartbeat such as atrial fibrillation shoots up considerably. Shi Heng Yi has encountered numerous patients who have developed serious conditions like heart failure, suffered strokes, or been diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, where a contributing factor was the seemingly moderate consumption of just 1 or 2 alcoholic drinks per day. Alcohol can directly damage your heart muscle, leading to a condition known as alcoholic cardiomyopathy. It also promotes the accumulation of fat around the heart and triggers inflammatory processes throughout your cardiovascular system. Beyond its direct effects on the heart, alcohol can dangerously interfere with a wide range of medications commonly prescribed to seniors, including those for managing high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol, potentially rendering these vital treatments less effective or causing harmful interactions. Many seniors also turn to alcohol as a way to relax or as a misguided aid for sleep. However, while alcohol might initially induce drowsiness, it actually disrupts the quality and architecture of your sleep, often leading to more frequent awakenings and less restorative rest. Moreover, it can increase nighttime blood pressure, further straining your heart while you should be in a state of recovery. Even small amounts of alcohol consumed daily can accumulate their detrimental effects over time. If you already have a pre-existing heart condition, consuming alcohol becomes even more dangerous and is generally strongly discouraged. Shi Heng Yi consistently recommends cutting out alcohol completely for optimal heart health in the senior years. However, if you do choose to drink, it is absolutely crucial to limit your intake to no more than 1 standard drink per day, and very importantly, not every single day. Giving your heart a break from alcohol will allow it to beat stronger. Your sleep quality will likely improve significantly, and your overall health and vitality will benefit. While alcohol might offer a temporary numbing effect for stress, it simultaneously weakens your heart. Don't let what seems like a harmless daily glass turn into a lifetime of regret and compromised heart health. Habit number 6 delves into the powerful connection between your emotional state and your physical heart. Bottling up stress, anger, or deep sadness. Holding in your intense emotions, attempting to suppress feelings of stress, anger, frustration, or grief might seem like a display of strength or resilience to the outside world. But internally, it's inflicting profound harm on your heart. When you experience significant emotional tension that isn't expressed or processed in a healthy way, your body releases a cascade of stress hormones, primarily cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones cause your heart to beat faster and more forcefully, your blood vessels to constrict and tighten, and your blood pressure to skyrocket. When this physiological stress response is triggered repeatedly or becomes chronic due to suppressed emotions, it can lead to serious cardiovascular consequences over time, including heart attacks, strokes, and even sudden cardiac death. Shi Heng Yi has treated patients who maintained what appeared to be perfect diets and exercise regimens, yet they still suffered from significant heart disease. In many of these cases, the underlying culprit was the constant, unmanaged emotional pressure they lived with daily. Whether this stress stems from ongoing family issues, persistent financial worries, the loneliness that can accompany aging, or unresolved grief, suppressing these powerful feelings actively damages your body. Seniors often voice sentiments like, "I don't want to be a burden to anyone with my problems," or "I've managed to live with stress all my life. I can handle it." However, after the age of 60, your heart and your body's overall resilience to chronic stress are generally diminished. It simply can't handle this kind of silent internal storm as effectively as it once might have. It's crucial to find healthy outlets for these emotions. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or a professional counselor. Consider joining a senior support group where you can share experiences with others who understand. Even dedicating just 10 minutes a day to simple meditation or practicing deep breathing exercises can make a significant difference in calming your nervous system. For some, writing in a journal can be a powerful tool for releasing pent-up feelings and gaining clarity. Never ever underestimate how genuinely dangerous, unexpressed emotional pain can be for your physical health. Your heart is not just a mechanical pump. It is intricately connected to your mind and deeply feels the weight of what your mind holds. Finding and cultivating peace of mind is powerful medicine. The more you allow yourself to release your emotions in healthy, constructive ways, the longer, stronger, and healthier your heart will continue to beat. The 7th habit we need to urgently address is ignoring sleep apnea or persistent loud snoring. Snoring might often be dismissed as a harmless, albeit sometimes annoying quirk, perhaps even the subject of lighthearted jokes within a family. However, that sound could actually be an audible distress signal from your heart indicating it's struggling. Sleep apnea is a serious condition characterized by repeated pauses in breathing during sleep. It affects millions of seniors, many of whom are completely unaware they have it. These pauses in breathing cause significant drops in blood oxygen levels, lead to fragmented and unrefreshing sleep, and crucially inflict long-term damage on the heart. Most people with sleep apnea don't even realize it's happening. They might consistently feel tired and groggy during the day, despite thinking they've had a full night's sleep, frequently wake up with morning headaches, or experience unexplained memory issues and difficulty concentrating. But they rarely connect these symptoms back to a sleep-related breathing disorder. Shi Heng Yi makes it a point to always ask patients, particularly seniors, about their snoring habits and sleep quality. Why is this so important from a cardiac perspective? Because untreated sleep apnea dramatically increases the risk of developing high blood pressure, experiencing irregular heartbeats, arrhythmias, suffering a stroke, and even facing sudden cardiac death during sleep. If your partner or family member has told you that you snore loudly, frequently gasp for air, or seem to stop breathing altogether for periods during your sleep, it is imperative that you get tested for sleep apnea. A simple, non-invasive overnight sleep study can accurately diagnose the condition. The good news is that effective treatments are readily available. Devices like CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure machines which deliver a steady stream of air to keep your airway open, or custom-fitted oral mouthpieces can provide immediate relief and significantly protect your heart overnight. Quality sleep is the period when your body, including your heart, undertakes essential repair and rejuvenation processes. Without sufficient, uninterrupted oxygen-rich sleep, your heart suffers silently but surely. Don't ignore the telltale signs. Loud, habitual snoring is often more than just noise. It's a critical warning that your heart desperately needs consistent oxygen all night long. By taking steps to fix your sleep, you allow your heart to finally get the rest and recovery it needs to function optimally. Habit number 4 is one that by now most people are aware of, yet its full impact, especially on seniors, cannot be overstated. Smoking or regularly inhaling secondhand smoke. We all universally understand that smoking is deadly. However, many seniors still tragically underestimate just how profoundly dangerous even a single cigarette can be, or how detrimental ongoing exposure to secondhand smoke, also known as passive smoking, is to their cardiovascular health. Smoking doesn't just wreak havoc on your lungs, it directly and aggressively damages the delicate inner lining of your arteries, a layer called the endothelium. This damage causes chronic inflammation within the blood vessels and significantly accelerates the buildup of fatty plaques, a process known as atherosclerosis. This plaque accumulation leads to narrowed, hardened, and blocked arteries, which are the direct precursors to heart attacks and strokes. If you are over 60, your blood vessels are already naturally more fragile and less elastic than they were in your youth. Smoking acts like an accelerant, making them brittle, stiff, and constricted much more rapidly. Shi Heng Yi has encountered numerous patients who never smoked a single cigarette in their lives, but lived for years with a spouse or family member who did, and they unfortunately ended up developing serious heart disease as a direct consequence of this passive exposure. It is crucial to understand that there is absolutely no safe level of exposure to tobacco smoke, whether actively inhaled or passively breathed in. The encouraging news, however, is that even if you have smoked for many decades, for instance, 40 years or more, quitting now can still allow your body to begin reversing some of the accumulated damage and will significantly reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke within a surprisingly short period, often within months. And please don't fall for the deceptive marketing of light or low-tar cigarettes or mistakenly believe that vaping using e-cigarettes is a harmless alternative. Emerging research indicates these also carry significant cardiovascular risks and are certainly not safe for your heart. Your heart deserves and desperately needs clean oxygen and clean, freely flowing blood. Every single puff of smoke you inhale or that you are exposed to is like delivering a direct punch to your heart. If you are currently smoking and finding it difficult